Annie's going to start while we're fixing the mic. We don't usually use the mics anymore. Annie has a nice soft voice.
Nobody can hear me. Okay. Is everybody settled? Everybody settled?
We're waiting for the lady.
So nice to see every one of you, and I'm expecting some more people which have not arrived yet, but I'm just happy to see all of you here in one spot. I have to tell you, I have St. Killian's here, my parishioners. I have my Franciscan members on this side, and then I have in between people. So, and I have wallbox workers, one is back there, and two right here, two young ladies. So, and we have some tenants as well. So we have a mixture of people which I'm enjoying, and some people really surprised me today, that they said they wouldn't come and they showed up like, yes. I like lovely surprises. Well, anyway, before I start anything, I have to explain a few things for you. I have raffles, and I'm raffling off a baby rosary and a regular rosary, which is handmade. I made them. You'll see me if you want to have some gifts later, or whoever you want. Mother's Day is coming. And, I raffle that off for nothing. You don't have to pay anything for it. Just put your name and phone number. So, if you win, then I can call you and say, hello, you got a gift. So pick it up, I'll do it, or whichever. And that's one thing. You have free cookies, butter cookies. They're good, no problem. And then I ask you nicely to sign in this book. This is the sign-in book. Because, it's important to know who was here for me. And not just a memory, but also I have to send you out, thank you cards. I did send you an invitation now. It's only nice and fair to send back some thank you card that you were here. So I like to be courteous, and I love my people and the people person, so it's kind of nice and courteous to say thank you. And I do thank everyone that came today. Another thing, you can purchase the book, after I'm talking, whatever. Some of you have purchased already before. But before you come back up to me, from a line, I have to see a receipt. Without that, I cannot sign anything. So we have the receipt, so I can sign the book. It's not for me, it's your policy. Barnes and Noble's policy. So I have to have that. And then, I will explain stuff for those of you who do not know. What is the SFO means after my name, which is on the bottom of the book here, after my name, is Secular Franciscan Order. And then for those of you who do not know what that is, I have a bunch of paperwork, that you can actually know what is what's our order. My members are here, you can seek each of them out and ask, if you want to have any questions, you can ask them, and then we will tell you what we are all about. I belong to New Pentecostal fraternity, so I can't scream, I'm waiting for my mic. So that's the best I can do with my voice. God never gave me a voice, sorry. Angels and babies hear me, the rest doesn't. And I can't help that one. But this was the announcement. And then on the table I have bookmarks, this little ones, and they're very cute. Marvin, my publisher did a nice job on them. And then I have postcards, so you can send your relatives. The nice those in the back. And then, if you want, you can also have a bunch of the flyers, which you can give to people, so they can buy a book and do whatever, So, and it's nice to keep it a souvenir. So, I leave it up to you. You do whatever you want with it. As far as the evening goes, that's how it's gonna go. And I'm gonna start my speech, and then I'm gonna sign things. All right, here I go. Dear honored guests and staff members, we are gathered together today for a most joyful event. There are no words to describe my deep gratitude to my publisher and to Barnes & Noble staff members and Dominica, the manager, who made this day possible for me and for all of us. My heartfelt thanks to all of you. Well, it's a boy, it's a girl, no, it's an it. Sorry, this was a big elephant to have. An elephant baby. So after 8 years, my book was born, finally. Due to the kindness of my publisher, Marvin, I owe a lot of gratitude to my dear friend Josephine, who sits in the back of this room. My dear friend. Who introduced me to Deacon Deacon Nick, and he's here somewhere. Deacon Nick is sitting right there. So he's in the back. I owe a lot to the both of them. If it wouldn't be for him, and of course for Josephine, you know, and my publisher, you know, this would never happen, you know, and I owe a lot to Deacon Nick because he just, I mean, after searching, I was already into China, I was in Philippines, I was in India, Sri Lanka. Should I mention more countries? And I don't get anywhere. So he says casually, well, why don't you just, you know, see if my publisher will do it for you? So I thought, nah, I can't lose anything. So, you know what I did? I made an appointment, even though I was dealing already with Philippines, you know, with another publisher, like it didn't get anywhere. So, you know, I called him up and I made an appointment, and I tell you, I have to put in between my speech because everything that happened to this book was miraculous to begin with. I signed a contract. You know, September 14, I had seen him for the first time, and that was the Exaltation of the Cross. That was one feast day. November 9th was the feast day of St. John Lateran, I think. That was the dedication of it. That was the day I signed a contract with him. Then everything that he did was assigned to some kind of feast day. And among one of them, and he submitted it to the bookmasters, was March 10th. And March 10th is my conversion date. You know, and I didn't realize it's 25 years of conversion date. Like, wow, I didn't even look at it. I never thought of it. It was long ago, you know, whatever. But the book stems from all that, you know, and actually my spiritual life picked up from that day onwards because it was a big turnaround. I was born Catholic, you know, I'm not of other faith, you know, but this was an inner wake-up call, a big conversion that, hello, wake up, this is what you have to do, what we invite you to do, to be saints, become saints, you know, and you have to shape up or ship out. It's like, I wasn't going to ship out, so I have to shape up, and that's my goal in life anyway, so whatever I wrote in here, you will find that it's very different, it's not your average book, you know, so I'm hearing some people purchase my book already, and they say it's very different, you know, it's nothing they ever read. Even the priest, you know, in St. Francis Retreat has it like, this is so very different. So, you know, they're like looking at it, different view. But you will see it's all the kaleidoscope of faith, you know, and that's what we should. The diamond has all these facets, and you just got one and one, you see some, you know, nice brilliance, but the more you cut on a diamond, the more brilliance you will get. And that's the beauty of a brilliant diamond. And when you look at our faith, it's nothing less than a brilliant diamond. So look at it and appreciate it that way, you know. Because God shows me what to do, how to do, and that's how I can tell you. So it's all in my book there. So now, after searching, I have a world over here. Well, you know, Marvin was chosen by God to carry out his mission, and that's the truth. Search for 8 years for publisher, none of them will deal with me because it's a religious nature. God forbid they should deal with religious nature. They don't want that, so they don't make money with my book. No one wanted to take a risk, but Marvin did. May God bless him 1,000-fold. And I mean it, Marvin. My career as a writer started when I was in the 4th grade. I used to compete in essay contests between towns, and oftentimes I won 2nd place in those competitions. As I was growing up, my father used to have a lot of house parties every weekend, and oftentimes he would ask me to write a poem to delight the guests, which I did produce in record time. My father always, to this day, loves parties. So every time says, can you just write something? Like, oh, no problem, I'll whip it out in no time. And of course, I like to entertain guests, you know, I'm a comedian, which of course I don't make money of, but I'm a comedian, as you all know. I have to say that, you know, not in a bad way. But, you know, so I would delight the guests, you know, whenever I was writing. Usually poems, I would come up with poems, you know. So, writing to me, it comes naturally, easy, and it's just flowing out of me, so it's not a problem. Most of my writings are dictation from the good Lord himself in the deepest recesses of my heart. And I will take questions later, how I deal with this. I will tell you some secrets here and there firsthand, because this is actually God's day. It's not my day. I'm standing here, but I'm just a secretary who wrote all this. He tells me what to write. I'm writing it, and there you have it. And then you deal with it however you want to deal with it. But I just pass on the words. That's it. God is the true author of this book, which he truly just a mere secretary who writes that is being said. I love to sit in front of the Blessed Sacrament where I can get my life batteries charged so I can go back into life's boxing ring and fight some more. And that's exactly what I do. That's the strength that comes from that beautiful sacrament, you know. It comes all that power that I have because I'm so tired, you know, and you know, I'm not such a well person, but you know, when I sit there for 1 hour, if I can, you know, most of the time I could. Now that I have war bombs, I don't have a life anymore, so I can't do that. But I try at least 10 minutes or whatever I can. Recharge my batteries, and I'm just relaxing, say nothing, do nothing, just be. And it's so beautiful just to be, not even to think anything, or write, or pray, or nothing, just be. And that's how all these things are coming alive, because as I'm resting there, everything just comes, it just flows. Either the title first and you know all the lyrics later, or the other way around. When I finish the story, here's the title given. So that's how it all originates, from the sacrament. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, I don't need to do this. He's doing it for me. So after you know, all these suggestions of priests, nuns, friends, and family members, I yielded to attempt to publish this book with the help of Marvin. I made a novena to Saint Teresa of Little Flower because Deacon Nick had told me, because Josephine told me to look him up and see. I said, I think he will read it for you and let's see what he can do. I said, fine. So I met him for the first time in a Passionate Retreat house, and he took it. I said, well, you know what, before we do anything, you know, let's see what the good Lord says. Should we not do it? I said, okay, so no problem. So since St. Teresa of Little Flower was a writer herself, I said, you know what, I don't know. That's what I did. Well, 2 days later, you know, already I got a rose from somebody. Like, okay, like, this is fast. 3 days later, petals on the top on the stairs of St. Kilian coming down. It was a weekday. It's no weddings on weekdays, you know, like all red roses, petals. Like, okay, not this time. And then before the 9th day was up, I got more petals, you know, on somewhere else, you know, on the street. Like, okay, so I told Deacon Nick, I said, okay, it's a go. He said yes. But then something else had came about materializing in my heart. I said, Lord, you know how I don't want to publish this stuff, because this is private stuff, like private revelations, and I don't like that. I don't want to reveal. This is mine. But then the good Lord said, no, it's not. Because, you know, look at St. Faustina of the Divine Mercy Saint. So, well, those are private, but you can't keep them private, because then, you know, it's like you're burying in the ground that one talent that the Master gave you and does not yield anything whatsoever. So, like, have to shit in it. Okay, so reluctantly, I do. But I guess a lot of people will benefit from it, but that's the story. So I got permission for that. And he was reading it, you know, and he corrected some, you know, very little, you know, and he was writing something nice in that foreword over there, you know, so you will read it. And so he liked very much how I used the English language. That's why he did not correct a lot of stuff, because he said it's so funny how I put stuff in such a way, you know, that you can understand it, but it's like, if you really, I can edit my own work, you know, I could, but they don't let me. So I'm sorry, I'm not illiterate or anything else. I know how grammar goes. However, this is how it comes in. It's the crude oil from the good Lord. I can't refine it, because if I did, I got punished. I can't. And you believe it or not, may sound crazy, but every time I would write something, a little blue star would go on the pages, back and forth, as I was writing, like, and then just okay, it's being checked out. So I cannot erase anything. I have to put back whatever erased. I can do it. So whatever. I know how grammar goes, and that's the way it is. That's how I get it. That's how you get it. That's the story behind that. So let's see. Now, mind you, 8 years passed between this moment when you read it and today. And it's funny, like 8 years of silence, and God always talks to me in a very profound way all the time, in whatever it is in life. And it's funny, like, there's total silence. Like, what is going on? I even asked Kevin, what is with all of you? Everybody helps me. Why everybody just keeps silent? Like, I don't understand this. I'm trying to do this, and no nobody helps me. Not one soul upstairs, nobody. I said, no, whatever. So a lot of frustration went into it, let me tell you. And then, 8 years after, before I signed a contract with Marvin, one night, I was really crying my eyes out. I was just so mad, I can't tell you. And, I'm not getting anywhere with this. And then, this is what I hear inside of me. But this was audible. This was not something I can think because I was miserable. And it says to me, Jesus says to me, as again inside, said, well, you say this is my book, which it is. But why are you so angry? Am I not to do with my book as I please and with my timing? I said, oh, yes, you are, however, but it's still not getting anywhere. So the next day, I signed the contract with Marvin because he called me up and said, I want the book, I like it, and I'm going to publish it. So that's how it came to be. But this is how they deal with me. They don't help, but there's a reason. See, that was with words, and this was without the words after. See, I call it, you will find in my book, instant knowledge, or I call it instant knowledge, is that, I have to put a lot of words to explain to you what I can understand in one split second. Complex things, like how you put that in words. It's kind of hard to put in words. And I understood it that 8 years ago, people were more religious, and they're really more God, and they're slowly losing it. So this is the time, the right time for it. No matter how I pushed, that's why nothing happened, because it was not His will. So I have to honor His will, and that's how it came. And everything started, boom, 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 1, 2, 3. He can tell you, my publisher can tell you how everything kind of went fast. Of course, I pushed a bit. But, things went fast and kind of flawless. That's what I was told. So, I don't know the nitty-gritty behind the things. Anyway, that's how awesome is that what God does for me, He just helps me along at times, with stuff like it's hard times. God operates in your life and mine if you let Him be God. See, I invite all of you to take a walk in my spiritual garden, through the book, of course, and walk with me while gentle breezes blow on your faces and see how God works in our lives. I am sure you too will walk away with an edified heart after reading it. Even if you learn one lesson from it, I know I haven't labored in vain, and I sure hope I didn't. Once again, my deepest gratitude goes out to Marvin, my husband, of course, who helps me a lot, tremendously, with every little nitty-gritty detail, and my son, who's the technical editor of everything here, he knows better everything than we do. And of course, all those who made this day possible for all of us and for me. Thank you, Mrs. Dominica. You're sticking in the back somewhere. And staff for everything, for setting up chairs and making this day wonderful. In my opinion, everybody should write something down in their lifetime. The saddest thing is that the old generation's dying off and the knowledge goes with them, for no one thinks to pass it on to the next generation. If God graces you with knowledge, in my opinion, it should be passed on. So I do, part of my life, and let the next generation do with it as they see fit. Want to publish a book? See Marvin about it. God bless everyone, and thank you very much. Dominica, what's her next step?
Okay, so this is what we'll do. If you've already purchased the book, you can just come, form a line, and then I'll stay here with Annie, and then, she'll sign your book, and then you need to sit back down unless you have to go home, because then Annie bought cheesecake for everyone. So, so if you can stay, definitely stay. So whoever wants to come up, just come on up.
Congratulations. Nice to see you. I've been here a long time. Yeah, John.